And we are back and live, and tonight we're talking with Eric Mohr. He is says he's a member of Spectral Ohio Paraforensics Paranormal. How are you doing
And
tonight? How you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing good.
That's good. Good. So basically, so the viewers that like to watch our stuff here, they don't know who you are, and the thing I ask out of the gate question to kind of get them familiarized with you, if you don't mind. It's basically what got you interested and started in the paranormal.
Well, I was always interested in it, even when I was young. My mom was kind of into it. My aunt was kind of into it. Way back, I got to admit, we had one of the Parker Brothers Ouija board that we'd get out on the kitchen table. We didn't know what we were doing.
We
If
had
I would
two.
have known what I know now, I would have never played with one of those. But, so we messed with it. I just always had a curiosity of it. And then Um, we moved in about when I was 15. We moved to a different house, and there was just so much things happened in this house that were hard to explain. Just you'd see shadows, you'd hear footsteps, you'd hear noises, sound like somebody walking upstairs, up and down the stairs. Um, just so that really piqued my interest too. Never really, got into the ghost hunting. And then what really got me started then too, really interested, was the Ghost Hunter show. I watched that for a long time. The episode that of them
Mm-hmm.
at the St. Augustine Lighthouse, that one really piqued my interest. And then we just kind of, me and my wife, we just started kind of going to little events and stuff around the area. Mansfield Prison, that was our big first ghost hunt that we went on. We had a K2 meter and stuff, walking around with a big group. We didn't know what we were doing at that time. And so we kind of did events like that. And then just getting in Bryan, Ohio, which is only about 20 minutes from us, Austin Maynard, who started the Underground Paranormal Network, he had an event at Father John's, which he had the Tennessee Wraith Chasers there. He had Doogie and Chris and Mike and Brandon, and we went over there, and we did the ghost hunt with them and stuff. And I kind of followed his page then, and he put out a posting about help manage haunted locations. I thought, well, this sounds interesting. It's just 20 minutes away. Let's see what's going on here. So I messaged him, and we got talking, and like I said, so he has locations around. At the time he had several locations, and he just needed help managing it, help preserve these places. He would run ghost hunts out of there. All the money that would be raised from it would go to the owner to help preserve the place. So we kind of got involved in that, and I started going with him to different places, and then became a member of the Underground Paranormal Network, which is kind of the historic preservation of the buildings, kind of the network of the locations, events, and everything that we do. And then we have our ghost hunting, our investigation team, which is Spectral Ohio. So there's a difference between the two. So we run events. We have 6 locations now in Ohio, 5 in Ohio, and then 1 in up by Detroit, in Detroit, the old 6th precinct. So people book these places. They come in. We'll do the tours with them. We'll help ghost hunt with them if they want. A lot of times teams come in, book the places, and we'll do the night. And then, like I said, then our team we go to different places ourselves, then ghost hunt. So most of the people that are in the UGPN network are on our team also, and we go and do that. So that's kind of what really got me started. Like I said, I had a passion for it. Like I said, Austin took me on board, me and my wife, and really just showed us a lot of stuff we were missing with ITC, with different ghost boxes, working with with the different builders, with Jay Prater, with Katie Stafford, the Haltes. I mean, so I've really been fortunate, and in the 2 years that we've been together now, just on the stuff that I've learned, been able to do, the events we've been involved with. We've had the TWC guys out or the Wraith Chasers out. We've had Katie Stafford out. We've had Sarah Limos out so we've had, it's really been in quite 2 years that we really got heavy into it. Like I said, me and my wife did it probably about 5 years, 6 years. We've been just dabbling in it here and there, just kind of learning things as we
Right.
went, with K2 meter and stuff like that. But like I said, there's just so much more out there with the recordings. And like I said, Austin put together this whole underground paranormal network, and he just does an outstanding job with it. I mean, the events he puts on, he puts all this stuff together, and I get to go along and help out and go along for the ride, basically. So I've been really privileged to be a part of that, and then join Spectral Ohio then too, like I said. So he's kind of backed out a little bit out of the ghost hunting side of it. He's really focused on the ITC search and stuff. So I've kind of taken over the Spectral Ohio, the team then. So
Cool. So with that happening, then you took over the team, and now you do your own team using Spectre Ohio.
Yeah, it is pretty much the same members, like I said. So we kind of just, Austin's still part of it, him and his wife, like I said. So he kind of backed away with it, but we've got, Derek Coyle, my wife Becky, involved in it. So it's really, Austin, his wife Colleen. I know Derek's wife a lot goes with us too, Amanda. So it's a great. And then Courtney, she's our psychic medium. She is just outstanding. Her husband was a part of the team, but unfortunately, just a few weeks ago, he was involved in an automobile accident and passed away. So that was pretty hard with our team, like I said, because we are close. Not only teammates, but you become family when you do this.
Oh yeah,
when you're out, driving around, spending nights in cold, dark places. I mean, it's more than just teammates and friends. You become family when you do this. So,
and then sorry to hear about your
yeah, he was.
That's
and
that's a hard loss.
It is. It really was. Like I said, it really. It was a hard loss. Like I said, I mean, you become family with it, and like I said, we have our sister team, Creepy Cincinnati Paraforensics, that's based out of Cincinnati, that we have Mike Ring and Laurie a part of, Paul, that we do stuff with. Austin kind of started that when he lived in Cincinnati, broke off of that, and then so we do a lot of stuff with Mike Ring and Creepy Cincinnati. So we collaborate a lot, because actually we're going this weekend to Alan Whitmore's place in Illinois, the old Salem Hospital. So we're headed there this weekend.
Okay. So in all your investigations, you got any that are kind of intriguing or that you want to talk about?
The one place we had that was really, we've been to a lot of places, but there was this place, we've been to a lot of active places, but maybe one of the most intense places we were at was actually in a town called Delphus, which they got us into this place. It was an old antique store. It was an old railroad station. They let us go in and investigate this place. It was kind of, they were kind of skeptic at first and stuff. Didn't know if they wanted us in there, but they let us in at least twice. We weren't able to go back, but we were upstairs. It was kind of an old, built late 1800s. It sat right on the railroad tracks, and this place was a bar, like I said, a bar, an antique store, an ice cream store. So we were upstairs, clear back in this one room. It was room number 8. It almost looked like it was a little brothel or hotel way back in the day, because it just had small little numbered rooms. But there was a group of us back there, and we were using a box by Jake Prater, and it has a microphone on top of it too. And all of a sudden, you just heard. So not only do you have the box itself scanning at random speeds, it's a random scan box, you had a microphone on top of it that would pick up, other voices or anything in the room. And this thing just started making one of the craziest noises we ever heard. So, one lady that was in there with us was affected. She just started crying and went down to the floor. There was a shelf behind us that just came crashing down all of a sudden. You could see the shadow back in the corner. Like I said, that was probably one of the most intense things we've been a part of investigating. We haven't been able to get back into that building. We're trying to talk them into getting in there one more time just to try to figure out what that was back in that corner. That was crazy. But I mean, we've been to some great places. We went to Hinsdale last year. We went to Wildwood. We want to go to Trans Allegheny this year. Waverly, Mansfield. We're going to Mansfield in a couple weeks. We're going to Fairfield in Lancaster. That was a great place, and we're going back at the end of March too. That was a really cool place there. But then our locations that we do here too, Middle Point School. That's one in our locations that we manage. That has become quite an active place. It was, I think, as you investigate and bring more people in, places can get more and more active, and that's how Middle Point is. This place, first couple times we went in there, it was calm. And it's like, this is a nice place, But then it just seems like it has a little bit of everything. It seems like in there, it's got some, decent activity. Then it's got some negative activity in there. So it's quite a place.
That is cool. Whenever you can go into places and find different kinds of activity.
Yeah.
So what is the things you find the most? Do you find mostly intelligent hunts or residuals?
We do. It seems like we get a lot of intelligent haunts. It seems like now there is. I think at like a couple places we have there's some residual going on, but it seems like we run into a lot of intelligent haunts between like the ghost boxes we use and the recordings we use, some of the direct answers you can get, some of the interaction you can get. It's pretty good, especially I remember from Creepy Cincinnati, Mike Ring. We call him the EVP magnet. It seems like he can pick up EVPs like crazy. They're attracted to him for some reason. So I love working when we get a chance to work with Mike and Creepy Cincinnati with those guys. It's great because they really bring the energy too to investigations.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, there are some people who are fairly very well sensitive that do draw the spirits into them, and they're capable of getting a lot of activity around them.
Yeah,
So
he's definitely one of them.
when you go on your investigations and stuff, I hear you telling us about you have your wife as one of your teammates, and then you have a mixture of male female. Do you ever do any like just the group of males and then send the group of females after or
Oh yeah,
first or anything like
yeah.
that?
We've done that. We especially at the funeral home we have in Felicity. There seems to be a negative energy down in the basement that does not like women. So of course we
Okay.
send the women down there by themselves on that, and it seems like the women get a lot more reaction with that too. And especially if we go to like hospitals, we went to like Old South Pittsburgh Hospital last year and stuff. My wife's a nurse. We had another team member at the time. She was a nurse. Laurie's a nurse. So,
Mm-hmm.
we'll kind of use them as trigger objects too when we go to like, especially this weekend. I'm looking forward to it, because we'll have two nurses with us at an old hospital. So we'll definitely use them as some trigger objects maybe. So, but yeah, we do
Have
that. We'll
them
split
bring
up.
their
Guys go and guys will go one way sometimes. Women will go another way. So yeah, we definitely split up like that.
no, have them bring their nursing outfits.
Yep. We were gonna do that. We were gonna have we had like an old lab coat and stuff. We were gonna take those to Old South Pittsburgh Hospital last year, but we never did do that. So yeah.
Well, yeah. So I mean, honestly, something like that, depending on the age of the hospital or age of the building itself, especially if it was done up back in the 1930s, 1940s, something like that.
Yeah.
The nurses' outfits were totally different. That's when they
Oh
had the
yeah. Yeah.
white cap things. They
Yeah.
had,
The
they never,
caps. And,
never, you never seen a nurse in a pair of jeans or a pair of pants or anything.
yeah.
It's always a nurse's dress, and then the lab coat over top sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but no, I was just kind of wondering if you guys did stuff like that to where you found that there was more activity or got more activity whenever you had just the women do the investigations by themselves.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely do that. So that's always fun to do that. Though to send the women somewhere off by themselves. So
Yeah. So, what kind of or not what kind of what's your favorite piece of equipment you like to use?
my favorite piece is my go-to piece all the time is the direct link by Jay Prater. Love that thing. It's a handheld device. Ghost Adventures uses them. I think you've probably seen them on there. It's a handheld. You're kind of the antenna. You kind of use it. You put your finger on it. Kind of uses your energy to try and
Okay.
communicate with them. Like I said, that's my go-to piece. I mean, between our team, we have so many boxes that we use. But we've got so many different ones. I've got some, of course, I got some of the shack hacks and a little portal I made. We've got stuff by Katie Stafford. We use the ink box, the Necrocom. He's got a new piece out. I've got a Orion made by Katie Halte. I just got a new box on the way from her too that I'm looking forward to, a random linear scan. But my go-to still is the direct link. It seems like you can really get some good direct responses with the direct link. And of course, a lot of people are on the fence about it, of course, but the DR60s. Our team, we have 3 of them on our team that we use. My wife, she uses a different recorder. She uses like a little Panasonic old recorder with a little mic on it. And, she's gotten some great EVPs on that. But, between the direct link and the DR60, I go with the direct link. But like I said, the DR60, though, is a close second that I like to use. Like I said, a lot of people are on the fence of it one way or the other, if they believe in it and they don't, if it actually picks up, everything they say. But we've gotten some very good, very clear responses with direct responses with the DR60. So
Your mic's muted, Mark.
That's weird. This thing's acting up on me. I don't know what's up with it. It did that twice to me before I even started. But you guys do film, right?
yeah, we go live on Facebook under the UGPN or the Spectral Ohio. We don't do a lot of filming. I mean, it's all live. It's all right there. I think our
Nice.
followers really like that. We'll do an EVP session and we'll play it right there. If we get something, we get something. If we don't, we don't. It's live. You know, Sometimes we're not PG-13 either. We'll let a cuss word fly here and there. We pick
Uh,
on each
I
other. We
think we
joke
all.
with each other.
I think
I
all of
think
us
we
are
all.
that way.
I think we all do that. Yeah,
So,
I
we
really
pick
do.
on each other as we go. We interact. Sometimes it takes, we interact with the people, the people that follow us.
Hmm.
Really like it when we interact with them when we can. A lot of times my wife will just kind of sit back and answer questions. She'll kind of sit back at base camp or something. She enjoys doing that and answer the questions as they come through, so that way, they just kind of feel like they're part of the investigation too. I mean, we definitely have some dedicated followers that jump on and, just love, what we do. Sometimes we'll just get on there, joke around. We'll just be sitting there, not even investigating, and they'll jump on. We joke around with them and just, kind of
Hmm.
talk and blab and, just part of that interaction. They enjoy that. So, but yeah, we don't film. It's all live. It's all right there. We get something. And other nights, You don't get anything. It's just kind of boring, but they
That's
stick it out with us
Well,
every
it's
time we go live.
it's
So
like you said. You could be sitting in a cemetery and for 6 hours, and all you do is talk to yourself.
yeah, it
Not find
is. I
nothing.
mean,
It happens. It's part of the truth, and I think some people expect you to find something every time you go out, and I think that's got a lot to do with Hollywood
yeah.
and these
oh yeah,
shows. I
the
mean,
shows, yeah,
to get that much content for one episode, they would have had to have visit that place numerous times to put all that footage together.
oh yeah,
Do you agree?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, honestly, for what I think is, it does depend.
I
I
think
mean,
some
they
of
do
it
have
might be
several
staged.
cameras running, but like with Ghost Hunters early on, I think they were uh, fairly honest with everything. But when everything started picking up and they started getting more famous, and you
Don't get me
know,
wrong; it's still
people started
entertainment and still entertaining.
right, but people
Oh, yeah,
started expecting them to find things. That's when I think it all kind of went the wrong way, where things got staged.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I don't like the big production um, investigations like that, because I feel that they're staged, because it's all done through Hollywood.
yeah,
Other than like what we do, where you guys, you go out and you do your live investigations and you broadcast live through Facebook.
yep.
That's great. I if I could figure out how to do that, I think we would do the same
We'd
thing.
be doing it live too, but we haven't figured out how to do it quite yet. But we don't edit our footage. I
Yeah, we
mean,
don't we
you,
don't edit
what
any
you
of our footage.
see, what you see when we on our YouTube investigations, because all our investigations are on YouTube right now. But all those investigations, none of them are well. It's edited. It's edited with a screen telling you that this is where we are, this is who we are, this is where we're at, and then maybe a little credits, but very little editing done. It's all
Yeah,
raw
Yeah.
footage put together. So you hear everything we hear, see everything we see as we seen it. We don't jump to conclusions. We don't say what it is. We say what it might be, because not everybody knows Wisconsin. So we gotta give you, if we're out in the wilds, we give you a little bit of what the wildlife could be in this area.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. We, like I said, we enjoy that too. We enjoy the live interaction because a lot of times, they'll hear something through the ghost box or recording, they chime in. No, I heard this. No, we heard, or, when you say, man, I heard this. And, you got three people saying, yeah, I heard this, that, they heard the same thing. That just kind of goes along with everything. And they get chatting with each other then too, amongst each other. So like I said, we've got some great deadlights that we got from Josh Bender. We use some of those. We use a great Nicam built by Joel Myers. I mean, these things are awesome that we use. We can hook them up through Facebook, through the Camerify Live, go through that. That's what we use a lot. Are these Nicams? Joel puts these together. Great guy that we work with. And like I said, we go through the Facebook. We use Camerify Live and use those. Like I said, yeah, between those deadlights and the camera, or the cameras, just awesome piece of equipment right there.
yeah, yeah. One of the things I like, though, is whenever we're doing our investigations, when we do go out and do them, and we have the two. We have three cameras, but we have like the two video cameras. The last investigation we did was um, Halloween, and we had my camera stationary, Joe's camera. Me and my daughter were walking around with it. She was filming. I had my voice recorder with us, and I was able to catch some EVPs on the voice recorder that I was able to actually match up on both videos for both cameras,
Uh,
because it happened in the same room.
yeah,
And that's actually exciting to me, whenever you can actually match up your discoveries on three different devices.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's
has
cool. Like
that
that.
stuff ever happened to you guys like that?
Yeah, we've had that where we've heard something on the cam, or yeah, we've heard something through that, or through the ghost box, or then when we get we have two different recorders going, and you get
Mm-hmm.
this one direct question, and you get a direct answer and you hear it on both recorders. Especially if you're using a DR60 and you're using a different one. A couple weeks ago at the funeral home, my wife, they caught a great EVP in the basement on two different recorders in the basement. That was just the women down there on that. And they got, um, like I said, you could hear it on both recorders. And that's when you hear that's pretty cool when you can kind of go through that, or you hear something through the ghost box and then you get it on the recorder too. That is cool. That's hard to debunk anything like that when that happens.
Well, yeah, it is.
That's cool.
That's why I really enjoy it whenever we do wind up getting it on two or three different pieces of equipment that records audio or video or both. So, so do you guys just stick with the buildings and stuff, or do you ever go out and do cemeteries or any of that kind of stuff?
We we do go outside. We'll go to the cemetery, like I said. Me and my wife will. If we got nothing to do or something, we'll go there. But we did investigate a place. Our team member got us to this place. It was outside, mostly outside. They were these three old buildings outside, and of course, supposedly it was a gangster hangout. It was outside Lima, Ohio, which was kind of known way back. They had some gangsters going through there, and supposedly Al Capone was, Al Capone's been everywhere, but supposedly, Al Capone
has been through Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan,
Ohio,
Ohio, Indiana,
the whole Great Lakes area,
all of this area. Al Capone has done his
share of hideouts and had his share of hideouts. Him and Dillinger. Dillinger was part of that group too.
Yeah, Dillinger. So
Sorry,
but this place,
go ahead.
It was cool. We had Courtney was with us, our psychic. She was with us, and these three buildings were just so active. And then we could hear through one of our boxes. We were outside. We could hear a baby crying. Which then we're walking. We've never been here. First of all, we've never been there. We get there, and Courtney had drawn out a map of the place, and none of us have ever been there. And she mapped out the buildings and all this stuff. And supposedly there was at one time a tunnel under this place. Well, like I said, then we're walking through these weeds and trees and stuff. We're outside. It was in the summertime. And we come across all this baby stuff then, like a doll and some clothes and stuff, which was kind of weird. But then on our live feed, what we caught, we were standing there. There was no wind. There was nothing. It was a calm night. Myself and Derek were standing right there. And it looked like somebody walking through the weeds. I mean, it looked like the weeds were just parting. I mean, on both sides. So if the wind was blowing, they would go one way.
You would expect
somebody
that.
Walking. It looked like somebody walked. I mean, it was on our live feed too. People saw it. It looked like the weeds were just opening up, like somebody was walking through them. I mean, so, we enjoy doing some outside places. Sometimes, the evidence and if you try to do recordings and stuff can get a little contaminated. But as far as the boxes and stuff, they work great outside. So we've definitely did that. And actually, when we went to the Hinsdale house last year, it seemed like we had more activity out around the pond. I don't know if you've ever been to Hinsdale or any over there, but there's outside, there was activity out there. And actually we got more I got more activity that night anyways, out around the pond out there and up on the hill than actually in the house. So, I mean, it was a cool place to go. I mean, we were kind of all excited about going to Hinsdale. They had, 2 exorcisms there, and this place was, we kind of psyched ourselves up. And then we got there, it was cool being there, and we did have some good experiences. But I think we thought it was going to be a little more crazy than it was. But it was still a good night. Still cool being there to see the place and spend the night there.
That's always a cool part of this. You either get to learn something about the history, or just be in one of those cool places that's just like literally famous in the paranormal circle and horror movies, and because of the stories. you
Yeah.
know, and we all know how those stories go, you know, because when we do the digging, we find the truth eventually, but over the years they get a little blown out of proportion and exaggerated just to get
Yeah.
them a little more
Yeah.
scary and a little
Yeah,
more
they do.
fascinating.
Yeah, they do. And then we went to Wildwood the next night over there, which, that was on paranormal lockdown and stuff. And that was a cool place too. Just kind of quiet night there though too. So it was a cool trip to New York. Never been to that part of New York. It was a great area, great locations that we checked out. So, someplace I'd definitely go back, check out again. So definitely a cool place.
Yeah, I would imagine just because you don't get, you know, that's just it. Just because you don't get some activity the first time doesn't necessarily dismiss it for us to go back there again.
Oh yeah, you talk to the other people that went there a week later, or there was a group that talked to. They went there like a week after us, and yeah, they just said how crazy it was, and it was it's like it was it's just but what's their definition of crazy too? It could be
Yeah,
a
Right.
right.
little different. It could be a little different. Like I said, we kind of amped ourselves up going in there, but like I said, yeah, definitely neat place. I'd definitely go back um, to it to investigate it again, just because it was a neat place, neat area. That whole area is neat. Just the whole history of it. That's kind of what we do too. We just love the history of places too, old places and stuff. That's
Well,
one thing we try to preserve are these old buildings and stuff. Just help put the money back into them to help preserve them, the old schools and homes. And like I said, Auglaize Village, that's a big village that, we help with the funding and stuff, do paranormal tours there and help another source of income for them. So,
Yeah.
well, I think
Yeah.
that's also pretty cool. You know, you sit there and preserving history like that. You know, not because some of these buildings are just that are so old, whether they got paranormal history or not. Some of them just shouldn't be destroyed, and they're getting
oh,
destroyed
oh yeah,
for things
absolutely.
Yeah.
for things that they shouldn't be getting destroyed for. Because then you go by there a few years later after they rebuild, and oh, it's an empty lot again.
Yeah.
It's like
Yep.
leave that
That's
for.
kind of that one place that's talking about in Delphus. And, we hear they're going to tear it down. And like I said, it's a beautiful building, big windows in the front. They're not broken out. For this building being built in like 1890, it's still pretty solid. And to think that they're just going to tear it down, that's that's like I said, that building is just beautiful. And like I said, the schools we have, they're just old schools built in the late 1800s, early 1900s. They don't build schools like that anymore.
No, no.
All these fancy looking places. They don't have the architecture like the old places have. The high ceilings, the woodwork. They don't have that anymore.
See, that's one of the problems with our country right now is the fact that we're losing all of our
649.
history.
Yeah,
Nobody, we need to actually preserve our history. We need to actually go through and save a lot of these old beautiful buildings that are still standing and actually have them renovated. Turn
yeah.
them into something else. Don't just
Or
Turn
tear
them
them
into
preserve
down.
them,
something.
or just
That's
preserve them
Well,
and
no,
turn them
I
into a
mean
museum.
renovate. No, seriously, renovate them. Turn them into something that's useful, but don't
yeah,
tear them down.
yeah. That
Restore them.
That's like here in our town of
Man,
Defiance. We have an old high school. It was built in 1918. It was a junior high, which I went to school there.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they closed it a few years ago and built a new school. And the city was supposed to take it over from the school board, but there's a fight between that, and there's a hang up between the previous owners and what that land was dedicated for. So this building's set empty. And supposedly, if nothing happens to it, and by May, they're going to end up having to tear it down. And like I said, it's part of, kind of you come into our town, you drive down the main street. That's what you see is this big school built in 1918 that isn't an eyesore. It's not falling down or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in great condition. Like I said, we talked to the city a year and a half ago about letting us get in there and do stuff, and they were on board with it, but they just don't have the rights to it yet to let us in there. And if nothing happens, unfortunately, I'm hearing that they're going to have to end up tearing it down, which would be a shame to not even, even if we never got a chance to go in there, just the whole history of it, built,
Right.
like I said, I went to school there, the place was built in 1918. It's just kind of one of those things. You come into our town, you see that right down the main street at the end of it.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of it's kind of an iconic building for you guys
yeah,
because
it
it's been
is.
there so stinking long.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know, and
So
that's one of the main beefs I have.
yeah,
A lot of these older, beautiful buildings that were built back in the 1800s and early 1900s, they're well built buildings.
yeah, they are.
You
They
know,
are.
and they shouldn't be tore down just to build a stinking strip mall that's going to be empty in 5 years because they're going to want to build another one somewhere else
Yeah,
and
I
move
I
there
agree.
because it's
Yeah,
cheaper to put your store in there.
yeah,
Well,
it
No,
is. Yeah,
restore these things.
well,
I know.
That's our history.
look
Yeah,
what they did with the old railback building.
I know.
That place was around since like the mid 1800s. That building was there.
Right.
That plant.
That's down where Union Corners is, and they
Yeah.
tore that down, and they've got apartment
They
buildings there.
yeah, they
They've
a
at
high
least got a
rise.
clinic there.
yeah,
They at least built a clinic for there and everything. But
I
the
would
whole
have.
thing is it's that was the kind of a thing that they could have renovated it and turned it into something else.
yeah.
And what is it? Recently, I read that they're tearing down the old downtown MATC, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's an old
That
building too. That's
that
down.
used to be, now that dates back quite. I'll tell you that is where my mom and my dad went to high school because it was called Central High School long before it was MATC, way back in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't they don't build them like that anymore. So that's what, like I said,
Yeah,
just,
they definitely don't.
just even when you look at like the Mansfield prison, the old reformatory, you
Mhm.
think the architecture and what it took to build that in 1890, just, it's hard to believe they were going to tear that down after they filmed Shawshank there. They said they had the bulldozers lined up for that place after they were going to film Shawshank, they were going to tear that place down. I can't imagine.
They were actually going to
So,
tear it down right after they got done filming, right?
yep, that's what they said. When we've done so many tours there and stuff, we just love that place. They said,
That,
yeah,
that
they said the bulldozers were out back, and they said once filming stopped, they were coming in to tear it down, but then the state of Ohio bought it for $1 to save it, and so they put, like I said, that
thanks to the
even
state
if
of
you're not into
Ohio.
paranormal,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're not into paranormal and just love old buildings and stuff, the architecture in that place is just
Well,
amazing. Back when
Yeah,
they
that's
built that.
that's what I like about what you're talking about. I mean, a lot of the groups that we talk to, they do these tours and they do these setups like that to where they
well,
can raise the money to preserve. In fact,
well, look
one of
at
them
that
that we talked to, Dr. Christy Sumner,
Sumner.
that's what I said, Sumner.
Sumner.
She stop it. Um, she was involved in preserving the Ma Barker house,
Right.
and they moved it. They
Bullet,
actually
bullet
moved
holes
it.
and all.
Yeah, just like it is. Just the
They
bullet
patched
holes
up
are
some
still
of
in
them for.
there
Well, they
and
patched up some
everything.
of the holes. They said for structural purposes because but they
But
moved it
they
because they were
moved
going to
it.
demolish
They
it.
actually moved it into a park, into a state park.
Yeah, in
So it's
Florida.
now setting inside of a state park.
Hmm.
And it's there for any investigator to get
Oh, really?
permission and go in and do investigations.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that was her and her group did that. That was Soul
Yep,
Sisters
that was Soul
Paranormal that
Sisters
did
Paranormal that did
out
that,
of
and
Florida that did that. They
and
did a great
that's the kind of stuff.
documentary on that house as well as the Ma Barker story. So
But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I like to hear of that the groups are doing. I mean, you're helping to preserve our history, and not only are you helping to preserve our history, you're also discovering whether there is any kind of activity there as well.
Yeah, like I said, as far as the places we help manage, we keep the prices low. People come in, 8 people, 250 a night, to spend the all night there at these places. and almost all the money goes back to these places.
Hmm.
We got a little cost and stuff to cover our insurance and stuff, but
Well, yeah.
any money we raise, we'll do little walking tours, 2.5 hour walking tours that people don't want to do a full investigation or don't have equipment. We'll lead them around on kind of go through people first time they're interested in ghost hunting or seeing it, but they don't have any equipment, didn't really have a way to do it. So, we'll take them on this little, investigation for 2.5 hours. Some people love it and some people are like, nope, not for me. I'm out of here, so
Right.
they get a taste of it and they're like, nope.
Well,
So we've had a few people
that's
like that left early on us, are like, oh, I didn't know what this was. I'm leaving. So
no, that's the funny part about some of it. Some of these people, they don't really understand what they're actually asking to get into.
right.
For me, I'm kind of jaded in it. Things don't phase me anymore because in my youth, I've pretty much seen it and done it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm actually getting back into the practice of Wicca. I used to be a Wiccan
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was younger, and I gave it up because of the woman I married because it freaked her out, and I wanted to make sure I kept her happy, and then of course that didn't work out. So, so I'm getting back into it,
Yeah.
and being that way, I mean, there are a lot of people that they see the glamour of it on Hollywood or on TV, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to give that a try, but they don't have that sense to really do it the right way because they'll go in there thinking it's going to be just all fun and games.
Yeah, I think some of them do that. They like said they see the TV show and they're like, "Oh, look at that," and a lot of times, on these hunts, I'll take the REM pod and I'll take the EMF detector and ask
Mm-hmm.
questions, because they're new to it and stuff. They want to see the lights and stuff. I try not to go too over their head with the ITC talk and stuff like that. Just kind of use a ghost box and ask some questions and have some meters and stuff go off. And sometimes you get that direct hit on a REM pod or something, they kind of freak out and they're like, oh, I don't know if I like that. And some people love it and, they're all about it and they come back and, you see them a lot. They'll come back and to our events and our ghost hunts and stuff like that. And, they enjoy it. I think you have those kind of people that are in it, love it, or they're like, nope, not for me. Thanks, but no thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So,
I can see letting people get a taste for it, just to let them see if they care for it. But,
yeah, I think a lot of people have an interest in it. I mean, just you're in the paranormal, you kind of think about it. I mean, everybody knows
mm-hmm.
Ghost Adventures, or probably seen a Ghost Adventure show at least an episode or two, and kind of have an interest in it. Is it real? Is there something out there? So that's what we do. We just try to give them that experience with it, to see if they love it, if they're into it, if they're not, if it's something they want to do, I mean, they come out, spend,
Right.
$20-$25 on our walkthrough ticket and, have some we try to give them a great experience, one way or the other, even if we don't get anything, at least, hey, that happens sometimes yet, you'll go through and, but we'll go through, the one group will be, man, that building was so active, it was crazy. Then we go in and nothing, we don't get one blip, no nothing, one thing. It just kind of how people interact with other people too. So
True.
They may, exactly. Something whatever is haunting the place just may not have wanted to interact with that particular group,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just kind of,
they don't.
They can be touchy too, demand. Just like real people. Yeah. I mean,
they are, like I said.
That's the thing. They were people at one time, so
exactly.
their moods are going to be however their mood's going to be.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's why we like Oglaze Village so much for doing that, because Oglaze Village is a collection of old buildings. They were brought together then on a property. So they were, we've got an old school, we've got an old church, a doctor's office, a couple old cabins that, families lived in until the 50s even, an old train station. So we have a little bit of everything out there, and there doesn't seem to be anything negative. Now, one of the cabins, it seems like we get in contact with the owner. he can get grouchy if you overstay your welcome, but just in real life, he, probably was grouchy if you overstayed your welcome. It seems like. So we kind of get that experience out there that it just kind of, I think that's a good place to go to take people and just kind of have a different interaction. And the different buildings, each building just kind of has its own little feel to it. So
Right.
Oh, each little haunting's got its own little personality as well.
yeah,
So
yeah, it does.
True.
yeah.
True.
So I mean, it's all makes sense, when you talk about it that way. You got many buildings, probably many different spirits.
Yep.
You're gonna have many different personalities. So who knows
Yeah.
who knows what to expect when you walk into one or the other,
Yeah.
Or
And the
if
land
anything at
itself,
all.
this was Native American land out here, it's right
Mhm.
right by the river too. So, they found a lot of arrowheads and stuff out there, So I mean, even just the land itself might not even be attached to the building, but the land.
Right.
True.
So
That's a
Probably
good
could have been,
possibility, or a little bit of
yeah.
both.
may have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
an encampment at some point.
Oh yeah, yep. I think so. Like I said, right along the river, right through there. So
Hmm. So, I guess, if you guys ever delve into the like the cryptids or anything like that?
no, we don't. We'd love to. I know we've talked about, doing that. I know. I know me and other team member Derek. We definitely talked about. We'd love to go on a Bigfoot hunt sometime, just to
Yeah, so would we.
just to just to check it out. I go deer hunting down in southern Ohio, down in the real hilly part of kind of Athens and stuff. And we have like
Right.
2,500 acres of kind of private land that a few of us are allowed to hunt on. And I'm always sitting in my tree stand. I'm always looking not only for deer, but see if a Bigfoot will come strolling through there, because it's on the backside of Wayne National Forest, where they've had some sightings down there.
Yep.
I'm
I've
always
heard of that. I've heard of that. The Wayne National Forest.
Yeah, so this property is just kind of on the back side of it. So I'm always, I've never been. I've heard some weird noises, but to say it was that, but I've never had the guts to, do a tree knock or anything like that, and coming out by myself or anything. So now, if I had a group with us, then I would. But yeah, I've never done a tree knock or anything.
Well, we've got a little area that keeps popping up recently with a lot of sightings. That's we've got what's called the Kettle Moraine Forest. It runs through quite a big portion of Wisconsin, from South Park to up into the northern area near Green Bay, and the sightings are located right around the southern portion of the Kettle Moraine Forest. But also not too far from there is a little town called Elkhorn, where the story of the Beasts of Bray Road comes from. Okay, which is also similar to the Michigan Dogman.
Oh, okay.
Stories,
Yeah.
if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
So we've been investigating the Bray Road.
Hmm.
All right, the Beasts of Bray Road. But yeah, I'd like to go look into that Kettle Moraine Forest area. We actually had a guest on not too long ago, Jay, that actually spends a lot of time in there, and he had a lot of interesting stories to tell.
Yeah, I'd love, like I said, I've been watching that Expedition Bigfoot. I like that show on Discovery. That seems to be a good one. Like I said, I want to believe. I think he's out there, but I don't know. It seems there's so many sightings. You just think they would come across some little more concrete evidence by now. Though, more
You
DNA.
never know. There's a lot of theories about that one.
But yeah, there is.
I mean,
So
I gotta say that I believe anything's possible. Okay, I mean, there's just too many stories of the same creature.
Yeah.
By people that's never met. I mean, they're countries and thousands of miles apart, but yet their stories and their description of the beast or the Bigfoot is all very similar in nature.
like
Yep.
the Tibetan Yeti.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Sasquatch, or
Mm-hmm.
what the one they saw in the Himalaya mountains, the Yeti or the
Mm-hmm.
abominable snowman, as they call it.
Oh,
Yeah.
They got the
the Yeti.
footprints walking across the snow up there in the Himalayas where nobody can go.
Yeah.
Basically, no humans been before, but yet there was
Yeah.
footprints.
Yeah. I definitely think there's something out there. Like I said, I think
Yeah,
he's out there. But like I said, yeah, like I said, I do like that show, Expedition Bigfoot. I like
Yeah.
that one. So I do watch Mountain Monsters though. But those guys crack me up on there.
Buck and you mean the one with Buck and
Yeah, with Buck
Yeah.
and
Mountain monsters, the
Wild
ones you were
Bill
telling me
and
about.
yeah, Wild Bill and
Wild
those
Bill
guys
and
take off running through the woods and falling down. Yeah, I get a kick out of that show. So I do watch that one.
Honestly, Joe is a big fan of them,
yeah, I like
and
watching those guys.
Oh yeah.
I have to be honest on this. I have never seen it.
Oh really?
I mean,
Yeah.
they go out and basically all they do is search and hunt for cryptids.
Yep.
In what is it, like Kentucky,
Kentucky, Southern Ohio, because they looked for the grass man of
the
Ohio.
grass man of Ohio, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they go down West
So,
Virginia area a lot. Yeah, Kentucky
right.
area.
Oh,
Yeah.
so have they ever been down to Florida and looked for the skunk ape?
No, they haven't been that far. They like I said,
Oh,
Virginia. They kind of stay right around that kind of Appalachian area,
yeah,
right
pretty much
there,
the
Virginia,
Appalachian
West Virginia, and stuff. And they're always building this elaborate trap, to
traps.
catch
Yeah,
it.
trapper,
And trapper, and they're building this
Wild
big
Bill,
trap,
and
and somehow it escapes them and stuff.
and then there was what was it? There was another team, wasn't it? Like they discovered that it was another team screwing with them.
Yeah, they had that whole the other team was coming
Yeah,
in and messing with them, and yeah, it was
that was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty good one.
so
Oh goodness!
yeah, but.
So,
You gotta realize it's Hollywood,
That one is definitely Hollywood.
and it's definitely entertaining. I mean, these guys are really entertaining.
Yeah,
They
it
really
is.
are.
That one's for entertainment. That one's not for when I first saw it, I was like, man, is this what Then once I watched a couple more episodes, they're looking for these cryptids that nobody's seen, and they walk out in the woods, and 15 minutes they're like, we got a Bigfoot on us. We got so. The Lizard Man. I think they were chasing the Lizard Man one
Yeah,
time too of
they probably
Kentucky.
really. It probably started out that they were really looking for these cryptids or something, and then
I,
all of a sudden the producers didn't like what they were showing, and no, we got
probably
to
so
do
that
it this way.
so
It's
they got
got to
to
be
add
the way
to
a
it.
lot of that happens.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. So it's kind of like with Ghost Asylum when they came out. I like that show, but they kind of built the trap. With the Tennessee Rape Chasers, they were always trying to trap the ghosts in some type of thing they build or whatever. So. But yeah, I
yeah,
think a lot of that came from, the producers telling them that's what they wanted. They wanted to try to bring something out, and then it became no, let's catch a ghost, and see if we can catch one and take it back to
Yeah, you go with
Tennessee.
Hollywood, you're going to
So,
lose creative control if you go to Hollywood.
yeah, they do.
basically they're trying to be Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
leave that to Dan Aykroyd and their crew. Actually, he's really into the paranormal.
Yeah, actually he
Oh.
is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So, what do you got on your bucket list? Any place that you're looking to go that you haven't been yet?
One place, like I said, I'd really like to go check out would be Alcatraz. I'd love to check that place out. If you could.
We were talking about that the other day, and I told Joe, and I don't think he realized this, but the state of California actually shut Alcatraz down because the island is sinking.
Really? Oh, I
Yeah.
did not. I did not
Yep.
realize that. Wow.
The
So you got to
Alcatraz
scratch that
island
off your
is
bucket
sinking.
list. Ain't that a
But
bitch?
but
Yeah,
the
I
thing
guess so.
is, I'm not exactly sure if they.
Sorry to burst your bubble there.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't. I'm not exactly sure if they don't actually do special permits to let people in out there. But
ah,
I know that they did shut it down because of
Hey.
the island sinking.
If I had the money to go out that far, I'd check it out in advance just to see if I could get a special permit because it would be cool as hell. I mean, think those were the only guys, and it's still to this day an unsolved mystery.
Yeah, those three guys that
escaped.
supposedly escaped.
That did escape. They did escape, but did they survive?
Yeah, where'd they
That's
go?
that's
They got out.
that's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd definitely like to go to Alcatraz, and then if you're talking about really where you want to go, go overseas, over to England and over there, the UK, go to
There's a
some of those
lot of
places.
beautiful, rich history over there.
Yeah, I mean, just the history over there and the architecture over there, but then a chance to investigate some of those places. I mean, if you're really talking bucket list, I said I don't know if that would ever happen, but that would definitely, one I thought could happen would be Alcatraz, but I guess not. So
Well,
I guess
you can always look into it. I may actually
Leave
be
it to him
wrong,
to
or
burst your bubble, though.
He's
an asshole that way.
Hey, watch your language.
New bucket. I guess I need a new bucket list. New bucket list now. Yeah.
Well, like I said, you can always look into it. You can always contact the city of San Francisco's thing, and then also contact California's the state capital and see. I mean, it's a good possibility you might be able to get some special permit to go in there. But I know that a few years ago they shut it down because the island was sinking.
I mean, there are some, like I said, I'm looking forward to Trans Allegheny this year. Definitely a place wanted to go. So looking forward to that. Still like to go to Moundsville too. Like to go there someday. So, but yeah, if you really, so those are a couple places. Looking forward to that. So.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'd like to actually go over to England and Scotland, and I want to go to my place that I truly want to go, Roslyn Chapel.
Oh,
because that place, if you look at the architect of it and everything, it has architect from pretty much every religion there is. There are symbolisms inside that church, that chapel, that indicate every religion pretty much.
Yeah, that would definitely be a place
really,
to go.
Really cool.
All right, you're gonna have to continue this in the
What's that?
bonus footage. You're gonna have to continue this in the bonus footage. So if anybody wants to see the bonus footage or extended footage, check us out on Paraflix, which is being launched March 21st.
Yep.
You're a one-stop paranormal. If you want a paranormal fix, or binge watch some of the most unique shows you go find, and documentaries and horror movies I was reading, and oh my god, there's just going to be so much great content coming to Paraflix.
Oh yes.
And then tomorrow night, don't forget to check us out. We are going to be on the opposite end of this spectrum. Tomorrow night we're going to be on Ghost Buzz, and that's 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yep. And that's with Janet Ramsey and her crew out of Michigan. So be sure to tune in for that one. It's going to be a blast.
And then Friday?
We're not going to be censored. Friday is Teresa Kraft. I don't know. I'll have information out there about that. I didn't have anything written down on the schedule. I was only going to talk about tomorrow. You got anything you want to promote? Your Facebook pages?
Yeah, Eric? I mean, go to Underground Paranormal Network. That has all our locations on it. We have 6 locations in all, 5 in Ohio, the 6th precinct in Detroit. Great locations. We run deals on them. 2, you can book 4, you can book all 6 for a great deal. Go there. Like I said, you're helping preserve these places. The money goes to these places to help, pay for electricity, pay for mowing the grass there, whatever. Fixing roof, like Middle Point School, they're trying to fix the gym floor there. We're trying to do that. So yeah, Underground Paranormal Network is our Facebook, has our locations on there. Book one, book them all, check us out. And then we go live from there sometimes too, but then Spectral Ohio Paraforensics, that's our investigation page. We go live, that's where we do a lot of our investigations from. So go there and check us out. We do everything live there. Go there, like us, and we'll pop up when we go live. Like I said, we'll be going live Saturday night from Alan Whitmore's place there in Salem, Illinois, from the old Salem Hospital. So we're looking forward to that. So yeah,
That's one
check
of
us
those
out
places
though.
we're gonna have to put on our list.
Yeah, Underground Paranormal Network though. That's where all our buildings are at and all our tours. We got a great event coming up at the 6th Precinct. We got Mike and Chris from the Wraith Chasers. We got KD Stafford coming in. We got Daniel Clays coming in. We've got, I can't remember who else. We got a number of people coming in for that event. Tickets are, like $99 for an all day, meet and greet with everybody. And then a ghost hunt afterwards at
Oh,
the
that
6th
sounds like
Precinct in
fun.
Detroit.
Is that the
Yeah,
one
we
you're
got,
calling the lockdown at the 6th?
yeah, lockdown at the 6th. Yep, that's there.
July
And then
31st lockdown.
July
There you go.
31st at
Right
Detroit
there.
6th Precinct.
Thank you,
So
Holly.
go there. That's an awesome location. Even just to book it, you can go there and book it and investigate that place. So much history there. That building is awesome. So much history there. A lot happened there during like the riots. I mean, they got pictures of the National Guard in there and stuff when that happened. They had like 5 confirmed police suicides in there. It's an active place.
Wasn't that the actual precinct and the history of the riots turned into like a movie or something called the 6th Precinct?
That's where
you're talking about a police district, right? When you say the 6th Precinct.
Yeah, the 6th Precinct. Yeah, that was one of the in Detroit there. It's on McGraw Avenue. Yep. So
yeah, and it happened during those riots.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we have
we
have an ITC event September 25th at the funeral home in Felicity. It's going to be a small group. We've got some really cool guests coming out to that. The details haven't been released on it, but we do know it's September 25th. It's going to be a small scale investigation. And we got some, if you're into ITC and really like ITC event or interested in it, this is going to be a whole house funeral home set up with all kinds of ITC. And like I said, when you see the details, you'll be pretty impressed with the list of guests coming out to that one. So that one's going to be a small but cool event. So,
Cool.
So go to Underground Paranormal for more details on that when we release them. So, but we do know it's September 25th.
Now the Underground Paranormal, that's through Facebook, right?
Yep, Underground Paranormal Network through Facebook.
Okay.
Get on there and, like I said, follow us and like us. And then, like I said, you'll see our events and stuff that we've got coming up. We promote the builders. We promote, a lot of things on there. Like I said, our events, our tours, our places. If you want to book one of our places, that's where you go. Just a small deposit down. You bring the rest. The night of the investigation, up to 8 people. You break it up. It's pretty inexpensive per person then. So.
All right.
Sounds
all right,
like
Eric. Well, thanks.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. And remember, stick around for a few minutes
I'll
here. We're going to do some bonus footage for Paraflix.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes, thank everybody for watching, and have a good evening, and stay safe.
Stay safe.
Stay healthy.
And remember, anything's possible.